Hello everybody, and just here and welcome back to Shield Hero Season 2, Episode 11, the penultimate one or not, I don't know. On one hand, it feels like a penultimate episode, right? The gang is all back together and now they're headed to Kyo, they're headed to Kyo to take care of him. But on the other hand, today's episode is named after Kizuna, and they also have some stuff to work through, right? The matter of Raphtalia now being a katana hero isn't just something you shrug off and go for your adventures, right? It's something that needs to be talked about, even if just a little bit, right? What happens with their team? Does Raphtalia still get XP? Does Naofumi still get XP? Do they interfere with each other, or do they not? Can they join the same team? Can they not, right? It really poses a lot of questions that could very easily fill an entire episode, so I'm not sure. We know that the next season is coming, so maybe they're gonna handle that in the next season. I don't know though. I don't know. We'll see. Let me drink a little bit of coffee. This is the first. I wish this is the third time I'm starting the recording of this episode. First, my doors were banging because there was a draft. It's stormy, it's stuffy, it's hot. The balcony door was open, my window was open, and the doors were just slamming constantly. Second time, someone called me. Third time, I think I stumbled on my words early on, so I just stopped the recording and started anew. So finally we're starting. And I am very much hyped for what's coming, because the repercussions, the consequences, the consequences. I don't know why, but I remember the word repercussions easier than consequences. Just a quirk of mine, I guess. The consequences of Raphtalia becoming a hero will be big and far-reaching. One of the biggest consequences of that is indirectly in world building. I mentioned it in the previous episode, how the whole situation implies that weapons, at least vassal weapons, we don't know how it is with cardinal ones, are not bound to the world. Technically, if someone from Naofumi's world, maybe the clown man slave owner or whoever, were to travel to Glass's world and be the chosen one by the fan, they would have been the fan hero, not Glass. That's very interesting. Actually, what if the chosen hero of a vassal weapon from world A lives in world B? Could that be the case? Could that be the case? I need to note it down because it again can have so many consequences. Okay. Weapons from one world might have future heroes in another, and thus their power is unharnessed. That's important because maybe the key to stopping the waves altogether is getting enough heroes. Kinda like, collect all the weapons, the people with all the weapons, and their combined power can destroy whatever it is that drives the mutual destruction of those worlds. Perhaps those weapons were placed in their respective worlds to limit the amount of people that can harness them. Perhaps both worlds, way back when, were living in harmony, but something happened that pitted them against each other. I'm gonna add, after a colon, semicolon, a far-reaching consequences, collect all heroes to unite worlds. Who knows? Who knows? Just speedballing here, but something that just came to me as I mentioned that someone from World A can become a hero in World B because the weapon from World B picked them. Or does it work on the basis that the weapon chooses the best available hero, right? If that Kazuki, right? If only Kazuki was there and Raphtalia was still in their world, they decided to just not pursue Kyo. Would the weapon, would the katana choose Kazuki? What if Raphtalia was still trapped in the jail? Would the weapon just choose Kazuki, or would it wait diligently for Raphtalia? Or would it just teleport to Raphtalia while she was in the prison? A lot of questions, not many answers, but we are slowly but surely getting drip-fed with some of those answers, so hopefully, soon enough, perhaps not in the time span of the anime, but in the time span of manga or light novel, we will learn more and more and more and more. Is there anything else that needs to be said about the previous episode? No, not really, because the previous episode can essentially be summed up as Raphtalia becomes a hero. Sure, the episode itself was much longer than that. There was the whole jail and talking in jail and escaping, training, getting new clothes, all sorts of things like that. Then Raphtalia's weird mood switching and monologues and whatnot. But ultimately, the goal of the previous episode was to make Raphtalia a hero, and that's been established. So that's essentially all that mattered about the previous episode. What's gonna happen in 2 days? I don't know. Nobody knows that. So I'm gonna give myself sound, and you guys can get your subs. You can get your subs. There we go. Thank you, OBS. And let me remind you of support. You can support the channel by sharing my videos, by supporting me on Patreon, link in the description, or on Throne. I finally got accepted on Throne, so I'm gonna give link down there in the description as well. And with all that said, we can finally start watching episode 11 of Tatenusha no Nareagari Season 2, version by subs, please. As always, in 3, 2, 1, go. Because she's a new species now, yeah. I like the hairpin on her chest. And yeah, she was a Miko. And that's Raphtalia 2.0. Oh, the timer reset? Or rather restarted? Yep. Oh, you don't wanna know. Probably, since the waves consist entirely of monsters. Oh, it's Glass and her team. They're gluing him back together? Kyo? Who else? What was it about the body? I think I missed it. Oh. There goes Kazuki! Shouldn't have moved, fuckboy. Yeah. Uh, whomst. Boat hero. Okay, question. Will she die or will she become a waifu? There's only two options. And I guess that kind of solidifies my another theory that I don't think I noted down, that Kyo will remain a villain for the next season as well. Unless the series actually No, wait! Yeah, there's still the final episode. What was I rambling about how there is not enough time? Of course there is enough time. This is episode 11. We deal with Raphtalia, we deal with her being a katana hero, we deal with Glass, Therese, and the redhead dude whose name I forgot. We deal with all of that, and episode 12 is the climactic battle with Kyo. Perfect. Okay, yeah, makes sense. Makes perfect sense. Also, can I put your attention at something? Those three stooges, they're just not a thing anymore. They're literally not a thing. We're not even getting glimpses into Naofumi's world, how they're fumbling about, stumbling, trying to do some heroism, but are utterly failing at it. Nothing. They're just not a thing. Love it. Nope, she won't. She's a Pokemon. Just says her name. That you're trying to destroy his world. Yep. That's exactly what they did. Trying to destroy it. That's exactly what they did. Yes. I mean, they are working for the benefit of their own world, or so it would seem, but. Okay, what's going on? He probably does. Yeah! The archetype of a warrior king. Yep. Why? Okay, so they thought that. They don't know if it's true. Oh, that recontextualizes everything. Yes, Kizuna. Yes, Kizuna, please. Let's find the third way. Then evacuate all people into one world and destroy the other. I mean, that's not the greatest solution, but it's at least the solution that saves people. There's a lot of empty land in both worlds, so. Yes, yes. Go, Kizuna, go. Yes. Is Kizuna joining us? Is she joining our team? I sure fucking hope she does. Kizuna heads home with you then. Or they're gonna each conduct their own investigation in their own world. They'll eventually meet up and cross-reference their notes. Is it clones? Is Kazuki just a clone? Oh, you don't want to ask those things of a villain. You're probably gonna turn into monsters. I've been playing Alchemy Stars recently. A character asked the villain for power. It didn't end well for that character. Actually, it happened like 3 times. Never ended well. You need to strike a deal there. Use your names or else. Whomst? Weaponsmith? And some new faces. 2 brand new heroes. Yep. Wait, she can just let go of it? Raphtalia can just let go of her weapon? Okay, so do vassal weapons have like less pool or something? Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly the same way. I'm assuming Kyo gave those to... No, it's someone else entirely. A sword hero? You're either dead or waifuified. There's only 2 ways. Yeah! A nuisance. Philo is a bard now? She's now a bard! Brand new racial trait! I mean, they are fighting you one-on-one. Not if Naofumi shields the city. Oh? All of the attack names they're using, and it's all just clang, clang, clang in the end. Yep, most definitely. And they're using their names. What's with her weapon though? It seems to be alive. Is it another, like, replica weapon? Replica vassal weapon or a replica, not core, but the big weapon like what the Pope was using? No, legit, this sword is probably sapping your life energy or something like that. Combo attack. Yep. Tentacles. That's tentacles. Very popular in Japan. Kizuna is going to be useful because she hurts monsters, but not humans. Destroy the sword. Destroy the sword. So she's not going to die, she's going to be waifuified. uh, yeah. He's a villain. Yeah. He knows everybody about Kyo. And you were one of those sacrifices, simple as that. So, note to self, once you go to kill Kyo, don't destroy his lab. You could probably use the notes. Yeah. Except he's utterly mad. Yeah, he has quite a few deaths on his account. Kinda surprised they're getting into those themes this early. I wasn't expecting the topic of let's stop the waves altogether to appear until like the very end of the third season or so. Lark? Oh, Lark. There's quite a Lark with you. Oh, they caught a fish together. How quiet. It's not a fortress, it's a home. I wanted to say house and home, and I said home. Very British accent, I guess. A home, I'm guessing you lost to the waves. Oh, your childhood friends. Yep. And he remains that way. Unfortunately, he eventually went mad with power. No, you don't. You could say that. Yes. That's exactly and precisely what he's doing. Okay. Instantly on the good side. I like you. Whatever the fuck your name is, I like you. Yeah, but he's also a menace. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna need to go that far. Oh, that's a cool armor. Barbaroi. Not barbarian, Barbaroi. That's cool. And the Guardian Beast. Oh. I thought she reused the gem that he had in his armor. Oh, I thought it's Rishia in a Kigurumi. But no, it's Philo in a Kigurumi. Philo in a Philo Kigurumi. Yeah, you're the king, you have full coffers. Put it on my tab. Your Uber is here. Disappeared, stopped, sped up. Okay, so he's not trying to stop the waves. He's accelerating their appearance. Right, they're being recalled to the site of the wave, but Naofumi isn't synchronized with any of the dragon hourglasses in this world, so he doesn't get teleported. And also he's doing. See the glow it's emitting? Yeah, he was trying to bring them about. Uh, to what end, though? Yep. To what end was he trying to bring the waves, though? I initially understood his character as someone who's simply misguided in his attempts at saving his own world, an anti-hero, if you will, right? If I get rid of the beast of the other world and whatnot, then that other world will fall and my world will be saved. But it seems that the whole thing with only one world being able to survive doesn't necessarily have to be true, because Glass, Lark, and Therese were acting not on sure information, but on a hunch when they were trying to kill Naofumi and his band. So it's probably not the same thing that Kyo is after. Unless he also misunderstood something, or he also came to the same conclusion Glass and her team did, that the other world has to die. If not, then what exactly is he trying to achieve? Summon the wave of all waves to defeat it in hopes that no more will appear? Essentially summon all of the remaining waves all at once to just get it over with as soon as possible? Maybe. Reason to fight. Okay. All that said, Kyo doesn't necessarily strike me as a misguided soul. He's doing it purely out of malice, so... Yeah, let's go through this episode again, shall we? Yeah, Kyo definitely doesn't strike me as someone who's misguided in his attempts at saving the world. He definitely has some malicious intent behind it. What malicious intent exactly, though? I don't know. I genuinely have no clue what his goals are. I thought I knew it. I thought I knew what his goals are. But apparently they are beyond the comprehension of us mere mortals. Only Kyo the genius is able to understand Kyo the genius. That's interesting that Philo got a change in her racial traits. Sure, she can fly now because now she's a songbird or whatever, not a Philolial, but she can also sing. Her attacks with like wind and whatnot aren't as strong as they used to be, but she can sing. She's now a supporter. She's a bard. Interesting. Interesting if she keeps some of those racial traits back in her original world. That'd be interesting. Also, another interesting thing is that nobody else seems to have conformed to the world. It's only Philo. I'm assuming because she's a monster, not a humanoid, technically. She only has a human form because she's the Philolial queen. But yeah, like Raphtalia didn't turn into a gem person, and when Glass and Therese arrived to Naofumi's world, they didn't turn into demi-humans. They remained a gem person and a spirit person. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. Someone gave them to me. Yeah, she's a Miko, but of course nobody knows who a Miko is. Except Naofumi and Kizuna, of course, because they're Japanese. Also, the countdown to waves. Well, that appeared out of nowhere. Like, I do not recall it being a thing before. Although, I don't think we had any view from Kizuna's perspective. She was summoned as one of the Cardinal Heroes, yep, to defeat the King of Monsters, the Emperor Dragon. You defeated that dragon. Naofumi was summoned for another reason, to fight the waves. Yeah, he was summoned to another world to fight the waves. Exactly. What are the waves like? Kizuna has a countdown to a wave. Is it like the first time a wave will happen in this world? she doesn't seem surprised by the countdown. But she doesn't know what waves are? Or is it that the waves started right after she defeated the dragon? Or did she manage to defeat the dragon in the time between waves and then she was imprisoned, so she never had the chance to fight in a wave? I don't know, that's really, really unclear. Here comes Glass. And they're really trying to glue him. That's interesting thing, I have to wonder. Their magic doesn't seem to be doing anything. So what exactly was Raphtalia's plan with this attack? Just have him stand here and never move? Because he dies as soon as he moves. So I initially thought that it's something that will just disperse and pass over time and he just has to stay there for like a couple of hours or so. But apparently not. Certainly screwed that up. You go to get a body. You go to get a body for my experiment, and then they escape. I saw body here, and I saw Kazuki, the state Kazuki's body is in, and I thought that maybe Kyo somehow created Kazuki. Maybe Kazuki is a clone. Maybe he's a homunculus. Maybe he's an artificial construct of some description. But no, Kyo was just saying, you go to get a body for my experiment, and you fail at it. Also, is it just me or is Kyo's face really scuffed here? It's probably the shadows and his smirk. It really looks like his face is entirely askew and he has, like, he's staring into opposite directions like a fucking chameleon. But yeah, it's mostly just the smirk and the shadows. Must not move. And he did not listen. And he just fell apart. Cool. And I'm with Kyo here. They told you not to move, dumbass. Shouldn't have moved. Should have waited. What do you do with the Cardinal Hero? I'll go. She has a katana here. But Kyo gives her some weird living sword. I really, really, really like, I cannot overstate it enough how much I like the fact that Glass, Therese, and Lark are now on our side. I really grew to like their characters, and it's moments like this that really serve to humanize them a lot. Really like it, really enjoy it. Yeah, of course, at this point, we are still led to believe that Glass, Therese, and Lark are going to go to Naofumi's world and still continue to destroy it because that's the only way for their world to survive. But as we later learn, that's not really a thing. And it's super cute to see Glass flustered. You went when the waves showed up to try and kill them. That makes you the bad guys. She's mad at everybody involved, of course. Glass's face just peeking from below, precious. Truly, truly precious. Lark is the king. Interesting. You thought if you killed the Cardinal Heroes in Naofumi's world, you could save our world from the waves. Is it true? Well, I'm assuming it's not. And this moment, this dialogue, really recontextualizes everything. Because so far I was certain that it really is that one of the worlds has to die. And the only way to save your world is to accelerate the death of the other. Which would be quite the conundrum. Because what if the heroes of Naofumi's world learn of it? They pretty much still think they're in the game. So they would just rush to Glass's world and they would just try to kill them. They would fail miserably because they're weak as fuck, but they would try. And I was honestly thinking that it's going to go in the direction where Naofumi scrambles, maybe with Kizuna's help, maybe with reluctant help of Glass, maybe they get converted. quote unquote, to their way of thinking that, hey, maybe instead of, trying to hurt the other world, we could try to find a way to save both worlds from the waves. There might be some way to do that. But it seems that it isn't even strictly necessary for one of the worlds to die, maybe. It surely isn't necessary for the heroes of one of the worlds to die. Yeah. Because if the cardinal heroes of one world die, they can just summon more. So the death of the cardinal heroes isn't the trigger for the destruction of the world. Sure, if the waves are fairly strong and you kill the cardinal heroes, then they summon a brand new batch of cardinal heroes. They won't be strong enough to fight the waves, and so eventually the waves will destroy the world. I guess that's how you could accelerate it. So them not being sure that killing the heroes of the other world is even helpful kinda tells me that they're not sure whether or not one of the worlds being destroyed saves the other in the first place. And I think it might not be the case. Maybe worlds just survive. The fact that your world survived the waves doesn't mean the other world perished. Maybe. I don't know, I'm not sure. In the first place, how would you know that the other world perished? Right? There isn't really any good way to figure it out. Not to mention, the waves appear every however many years, and information about them is very scarce. There isn't anything known about the waves besides monsters appear, you teleport, you kill monsters, all is good. That's essentially the summary of the knowledge. Seems to be both of those worlds know about waves at face value. Perhaps there is some deeper knowledge hidden somewhere, like the knowledge that Kyo seems to have discovered. But what everybody knows is that waves are just waves and defeat them or perish, and that's it. Even if it's true, it was wrong of you to rely on that. I'll find another way. I'm with you, Kizuna. There has to be a way to save his world and ours. I'm with Kizuna. If that happens... I won't fight you. I mean, not like you could in the first place, because you can't really hurt humans, but don't know how to avoid it yet, but I'll figure something out. Find a way. Yes, we needed a character like Kizuna. Very moral and also headstrong. Right? Most of the characters we had so far were either moral and kind of defeatist, or immoral and headstrong. Kizuna is the first, like, anime protagonist, essentially. Like, she's a classic isekai protagonist. She got transported to another world as the weakest. I got transported to another world with the weakest weapon. I have a fishing rod and I can't even hurt people. And then she finds her inner power and whatnot. She really is like an isekai protagonist, and I love it. We needed a character like that. We really needed one. But... and if I don't find it, I look again. This is the stubbornness and headstrongness of an anime protagonist, no cap. And while we look, I'll help you beat Kyo. No, once we defeat him, we're heading home. But we're gonna do our own research. We can jump between worlds. At least Glass, Lark, and Therese have a way to do that. So I'm assuming they can just tell Naofumi how to do that, so he can jump between worlds as well. And we can just compare notes. And I must say, I'm really surprised and impressed at how soon we're tackling the issue of, hey, maybe we can save both worlds. It was my theory for the longest time, but I really thought it's something very very far off still, to the point where I don't even have it noted in my notebook, because I really did not expect either this season or honestly not even season 3 to tackle that. It really felt like kind of sort of an end game, quote unquote, of Shield Hero, where their differences are settled. They have dealt with Kyo. Maybe the other heroes in Naofumi's world are now taking the heroing more seriously and are getting better. Maybe there is some truce between Naofumi and Kyo and the rest. Maybe I don't know. Naofumi gets some new power or something, and it feels like a closing of one big arc, and then the next arc is finding the way to stop the waves altogether. That was my expectation. But I am glad. I'm very very glad we're tackling it this early, because it's a very very interesting topic to me. Something I was really waiting for. The thing with only one world survives, sure, that's cool, but I'd much rather deal with the cosmic horror-ish themes of only one universe can survive. There's a multiverse, and there's some power that resides not in the universe, it resides in the multiverse, outside of the universes themselves, that does something to those universes. I really like those themes, so I was really waiting for that. You can really bring him back. Yeah, Kyo is very nonchalant. He kind of feels like he was also isekai'd. Like his speech patterns and his demeanor, it really doesn't feel like an inhabitant of this world. Maybe he was actually isekai'd, but as a young kid. That's an interesting thought. Do I have space to take notes? That's Skeleton Knight already. Shit, I didn't think it's gonna take this many pages. Cause I'm gonna note it here. Kyo was isekai'd as a young child. Maybe even with some like basic level of education. That's why he comes off as a genius in this world. I think that's a reasonable expectation, reasonable theory. I would make the ones who did this to him suffer. Give us power. You get spirit at least. Yeah, you really don't ask villains for power. Brief spoilers for Alchemy Stars. I guess I'm gonna hold up my hand. As long as I'm talking spoilers, I'm gonna put it down when the spoilers are done. If you care about it. By the way, I stream Alchemy Stars sometimes when there's an event going on, so be sure to subscribe to be notified of the streams. First instance of someone asking the villain for power. Two sisters asked the villain for power. They were merged, melded together into a single mass of monster parts that was writhing in agony. But sure, they were powerful, they were a boss that you had to defeat, but not the best end. Then, once character Schumer asked for power, she was transformed into a whole another being. Then she asked for power again because she didn't have enough. She spent time in a life pods, just feeding on monster corpses and slowly mutating. That wasn't enough. She asked for power again, and she completely lost her mind and transformed into a part human, part monster monstrosity that I still can't defeat because the mechanics of her stage are kinda bullshit. And I'm not sure. I think Mendelssohn also wanted power, and he was also transformed into an Eclipsite. Or was he tricked by Schumer? I'm not sure. We dealt with Mendelssohn quite a ways back. But yeah, there were themes of the villain giving you power in Alchemy Stars, and it never ends well. It never does. I fully expect both of those girls to show up as completely twisted monstrosities and then explode themselves at the end. Or be saved. That's also a possibility, I guess. If we're going to Kyo's place to kick his butt, we need equipment. Yes, we do. I really like the chemistry between Lark and Naofumi. It's all very friendly banter. And look, Naofumi is laughing, Naofumi is smiling. You very rarely see him smile, but this little bit of banter with Lark, it really makes Naofumi happy. I like it. I really, really do like it. Why is Kizuna's face so scuffed here? You definitely can see that some of this stuff was outsourced. Here we have the local blacksmith. Odd that Raphtalia can just separate her weapon from herself. I don't think that you can separate the vassal heroes. Wasn't it mentioned that vassal heroes actually like stick to you? Like, you can throw them in combat, but they just go back to you or reappear or teleport or something. She's just casually holding it. I'm assuming it's a discrepancy compared to the light novel where Raphtalia was actually holding it and showing it to her instead of the blacksmith girl just holding it. It needs a sheath. Can't take one of the shelves, you need to make one. Kigurumi, the barbarian armor. Yeah. And yeah, it'll be a fun story. You get to work with materials which some of them might not even exist in this world. We know that the potion of soul soothing doesn't exist here. We know that philolials don't exist here. So if you get to work with like philolial feathers, you get to work with the core of the dragon that Naofumi defeated, right? If you get to work with those things, that's interesting. It'll take a week. No. It needs to be done stat. And here's Yomogi Emarl. Come to kill you, for Kyo. You're not even a hero. You just have some dodgy, sketchy weapon. And yeah, she attacked. And now she complains about being outnumbered. Philo really is much weaker, but she can now play support. Rishia's face, holy fuck. What's going on with her right eye? What's going on with your right eye, girl? Who did this to you? And also, it seems like the sharp part of her katana is on the backside, at least, unless it's like very deep kind of ricasso thing. It's called ricasso, right? The notch in the blade of a sword. Been years since I last made my sword, so I forgot some of the terminology. You're fighting one-on-one. What are you complaining about? Instant blade missed. Clang. No, it's even better. Instant blade missed. Thunder sword. It's neither miss nor thunder, just clang. Why even call out your attack names? Oh, there's power. Some green magic on the blade. Thonk. Directional blade of heaven. Thonk. Clang. I'm assuming that in the source material it actually made some difference, right? Like there was description of how when Raphtalia called out the blade mist, her blade seems to have dissolved into a mist, and random strikes were coming from that mist, slashing at her enemy or something like that. The thunder strike struck Raphtalia and she felt a jolt of electricity surge through her weapon into her hands, or, stuff like that. But couldn't you have given us just a little bit of special effects? Just, something besides clang, thunk, clang, 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 thunk. Still no chance against your superior numbers. And so you still continue to fight. Sure. It feels better to be fighting on the same side. I agree. I really like you all fighting with Naofumi. At least their skills are getting some effects. Zero Stance Rondo gets these Zero Stance Rondo effects. The weapon wakes up. Kyo made the sword. Yeah, that's even worse. Exactly. Bejeweled Thunderstorm, combo attack, and oh no, tentacles. Kizuna really is useful in situations like that, isn't she? Where she can hurt the monster but not the human. Right? When there's some, I don't know, enemy leech or something that gets attached to you, or a head crab kind of thing, or something like that, then Kizuna can just slice away. It won't hurt her ally, it will just defeat the monster. Now that you think about it, her skills are actually useful, but very niche. Very useful, but only against certain kinds of monsters. Monsters that either attach themselves to you or take you hostage in some way, right? Like tentacles wrapping all around your ally, and oh no, I can slice at them, but then I will also cut my ally. Whatever shall I do? Kizuna can just slash away, not worrying about anything, because her ally will just come out of it unscathed. Playing some sword tennis. Flower Blizzard. Looks not much different from Zero Stance Rondo. Glass here looks like that one girl from Aizoken. The tall girl from Aizoken with her like downwards facing mouth. And of course it exploded, because why the fuck it wouldn't? Why the fuck wouldn't it? Wow, people really say that. That's one more thing why I enjoy Kizuna. Naofumi no longer feels like an isekai protagonist. Sure, somehow he uses a term like Miko. Who the fuck is Miko? What the fuck is Miko? Lolibaba, what the fuck is Lolibaba, right? And everybody's confused. And oh, did you remember that Naofumi came from another world? It's something that Kizuna does much more often, and I really like it. She really feels like a proper, quote-unquote, a classic isekai protagonist. I love it. Looks like Kyo wanted to kill you. Yep. And it sounds exactly like what Kyo would have done. And yeah, precisely because Kyo is willing to make sacrifices for his noble goal, that you should believe them. If he's able to make sacrifices, she's able to sacrifice you. How, like, that's logic. I know that it's basically an abusive relationship between them, or maybe she's just blinded by how Kyo appears in her eyes. They were childhood friends and whatnot. But it's the same thing where you never get together with a girl who was cheating on someone with you. Because if she was cheating on someone, she will have no qualms with cheating on you. And if there's someone who's able to sacrifice everything for some goal, that means they will be able to sacrifice you as well. So you probably shouldn't be that trusting towards them. She made this mistake, but I understand why. It's not something you can easily see. What's this noble goal? The noble goal is to stop the waves. Well, first of all, it seems that like the waves never made it to this world, or at least Kizuna never fought them, so that's interesting. And yeah, they're going to talk. They're just going to talk. Of course, now Fumi makes a really scuffed face at the mention of Kyo. Because Kyo did a lot of bad things. If he wants to save the world from the waves, we may be able to solve this through talking, not fighting. Highly doubtful, especially how, near the very end, it turns out he doesn't want to stop the waves. He wants to call them. For whatever the fuck reason he wants to call them. He just does. He's a villain, he's the body, and he doesn't need more motivation. At least for now. Yeah, that's why he killed Ost. I still think Ost might be back. Just a hunch. Maybe not, maybe she's dead permanently, but I don't know. She might reawaken inside of Naofumi's shield or something like that. I'm still holding on hope. If there's a way to stop the waves without having to destroy your world, yeah. If there's someone who knows about the waves, it would be Kyo. He's been researching the Dragon Hourglasses. He's been researching the waves. Show Naofumi around the town, and we're just gonna have a dinner, some tea and crumpets, and we're gonna discuss things. I wonder what the fortress of Kyo's foes would look like. She's coming with the preconception that I guess maybe Kyo dressed it up that way, or she herself came to the conclusion that, hey, since we're fighting those evil guys, they probably have some sort of, I don't know, Demon Lord castle, a big, huge fortress with spikes, and it's all black, and there's a river of red river floating around, and there's corpses on pikes and whatnot. And also, Kyo kind of has his little fortress bunker thing, so maybe she thinks it's the same, but no. No, they, like Glasteris and Lark, and even Kizuna didn't really care about Kyo up to this point. At least it seems to me. Like, Kyo was doing his thing, they were doing their thing, and that's how it was, and they're living a normal life. They have a house, they go for dinner together, they go to have some fun, they spend time together, they go fishing. Meanwhile, Kyo is probably like completely blindsided and completely has a tunnel vision over his goal, and she came to expect that as the new normal, or rather, as her current normal. And that's why she's so surprised and kind of distressed that, hey, those people who were supposed to be villains, they're just like friends living together in a house. She's offering me tea and crumpets, and they went fishing together. That's not what villains do. They aren't obsessed over taking control of the world. What the fuck did Kyo talk to me about? She's having that moment of realizing that, hey, there's a world out there. Right? Kind of like, I don't know, children who are in abusive homes often have the moment of, hey, I made a mistake. You're not gonna hit me? No? Oh, hitting someone for making a mistake isn't actually normal. Huh. That's interesting, because I thought it was. She's having that moment, essentially. It's different in many ways, but reminds me of home. She also had a life like that. But it changed when the Kyo Nation attacked. They were childhood friends, of course, and Kyo was the weird one. Never played with anyone, wore strange clothes. That's what makes me think that he might have been isekai'd here as a very, very, very young child. Maybe at the age of like 5 or something, he was coming back home from the preschool and was hit by a truck or something like that. About books, country, waves. She learned many things, but she wasn't all that smart, so she promised to be his bodyguard. I know more than anybody else what he's like. I've seen him go too far and ignored it. That tells me you don't know what he's like. Did he do something to make them hate him so much? Oh, you don't even know. Also, I like your hands. It's probably scars from training so much. I want to stop him. Yeah. He must be made to atone for his sins. The fact that he's my childhood friend is the even more of a reason to make him atone. And make myself atone. Because I, as his childhood friend, was the one who was at the prime spot to notice something odd, and I did nothing. I didn't notice. I didn't try to stop him. I didn't know of his plans. I think that's more or less what's going on in her head. I'll suffer alongside him. Wouldn't surprise me if at the last moment of the fight she decided to be a martyr and sacrifice her life to defeat Kyo. Naofumi would probably help her and save her, and she might join us. Either in Naofumi's party or in Glass's party. I hope she doesn't die. It's a possibility, don't get me wrong, but I hope it's not the case. Crystal on the chest seems bigger than before. There's some zebra skin elements. Barbaroi armor plus 2. Cursed. I combined it. Oh, okay. So she did take the original dragon crystal Naofumi had and combined it with the crystal that Kizuna defeated. So Naofumi now has 2 dragon souls within his armor. That's fucking great! One of them is angry at dying. I'm assuming the other is also angry at dying. So now Naofumi has twice the dragon anger. Also bones of the dragon. Great. Great. Amazing. I wonder what's gonna happen when Naofumi goes Psycho mode again. He got that cool armor once because his barbarian armor was using the bones of that dragon he defeated. Now there's 2 dragon bones from 2 dragons in his armor. A course of 2 dragons. It's just gonna be a fucking natural disaster, isn't he? Raphtalia gets a sheath. Philo gets a kigurumi. That's interesting because it tells me that Risha doesn't need a kigurumi anymore. It was now given to Philo because she's the weakest. Not only is her new race weaker than Philolial's, because she's just a songbird, essentially not an emu, someone that's a bird that Australia lost a war with. Or did they lose? Who was the winner of the Great Emu War? I don't remember. I think Australia lost and the emu won, but I'm not sure. But yeah, so now she does need the support of a kigurumi. And also she didn't have the opportunity to level up with the rest of the team because she was rescued very, very late. Risha, meanwhile, she was with Naofumi all the time and she was leveling up alongside him, so she's probably a little bit stronger now. At least on par on par with levels with Naofumi. Here's the bill. Here we go, Lark. Oh, put it on my tab. send the whatchamacallit? Send the bills. Send the bills to the castle. Someone's gonna pay for it. My treasurer. Something goes wrong, I'll use my portal skill. To teleport yourself to her or to teleport her out of a sticky situation. If we can stop Kyo, we may be able to avert war. I guess war with the other worlds, kinda sorta. You've got a little time left, but no you don't. Different worlds ruled by different laws, that's also very interesting. Because it implies that perhaps even the waves in both worlds work differently. Shatter their different barriers and manifest its power here. The Waves of Catastrophe. Also, what he says here implies that worlds have natural barrier against the waves. Kind of like a situation with 40k and the demon realm they go through. Sure, your world is shielded from that, but if someone pokes a hole, demons are gonna come. So maybe the worlds, like universes, are suspended in that sea of monsters, in that sea of waves, and sometimes the barrier of a world just cracks slightly, and the waves, the demons have a chance to seep through. That's interesting, because if that is the case, then you can find some way to just strengthen that barrier of your world, and you'll be safe. Technically, like, it's a possibility. Interesting. There's a lot of implications to what's going on around here. Glass, Lark, Therese. What's this? It's the wave. There was time on the timer, but there's no time on the timer anymore. And that's Kizuna, Glass, Lark, and Therese. Why is she also being transported? Isn't it the Cardinal Hero and their aides that get transported to another world? I think that's the case. That's what was said near the very beginning, that you synchronize yourself with the dragon hourglass, and then you and anybody in your party get transported to where the wave appears. She's not in anybody's party. Neither is the bunny boy. Bunny boy, sure, he's like a vassal hero, so maybe he gets transported through the virtue of just being a hero. But her? Is she also a hero? Is she also a vassal hero? But she has a katana. She's not a vassal hero of a katana. That's Raphtalia. Weird. And yeah, the waves are coming. And it's coming from Kyo's lab. He wasn't trying to stop the waves. He was trying to create one. So the next episode really is fighting the waves, fighting Kyo. Reason to fight. Reason to fight will be to stop the waves. Not just stop the waves coming to one particular world, stop the waves as a thing, as a concept. To make sure that no world ever again has to deal with the waves. I think I was correct in comparing the waves to the White Frost from the Witcher series. Witcher 3 in particular. I think that's a very similar concept. Okay, that was nice. That I was scared for a moment, thought that I stopped the recording and it's not being recorded, but no, it is being recorded. That's good. That's good because I have like 2 or 3 more things to record today. Because tomorrow I'm gonna be busy. On Saturday I'm gonna be busy. And on Sunday, on Sunday we're gonna be holding a live stream where I'm gonna be watching, and people in my Discord, so join right now. We're gonna be watching the first concert of Symphogear, so you might want to stick around. I'll probably post a video announcement as well. Just gonna have to figure out the exact time. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about what happened in this episode. A lot of world building, and I'm honestly really enjoying this arc. I honestly, like, no cap, no joke. I'm enjoying this arc probably the most of them all. The first arc, the second arc that we've seen in the first season, they were cool, they were alright, they were great at the time. The Spirit Tortoise arc was kinda shit, let's be honest here. This arc, I'm loving it. Mostly because of the sheer amount of world building we're getting. Right? The new information about how the waves are working, how the weapons are working, all that kind of stuff, and I love it. I'm a huge sucker for world building. And also, Shield Hero right now reminds me just a little bit of Virgin Road, Shokei to Virgin Road, or Executioner and Her Way of Life, as it was translated to English for some godforsaken reason. Because Shokei to Virgin Road also does the thing where it gives enough information for you to kind of assemble the facts or theories in your head, and makes you believe that you know what's going on, and then it slips in some other bit of information that completely overthrows your understanding of the world as it is. And it did so many times so far, and I love it. And none of that is like retconning or anything like that. It actually genuinely introduces new information that makes your worldview of that world shift in very major ways. And I like how it was done here. First shift, in this very episode, there were a couple of shifts. The first one was that apparently killing the heroes of another world doesn't necessarily save yours. That's interesting information, and it completely recontextualizes the competition between those worlds, because maybe they can cooperate instead. Unless the waves between those worlds are synchronized, maybe you can just bring all the heroes from both worlds into a single world to fight the waves there. And then when wave happens in the other world, you bring everybody there. So that instead of 4 cardinal heroes and I don't fucking know, 8 vassal heroes fighting here, and 8 and 4 cardinals and 8 vassals chilling in the other, you have 8 cardinal heroes and 16 vassal heroes fighting the waves in one world, then in the other. That actually might be. Oh, what if? There's a limit to how many waves there are, but nobody so far got to the end. Shield Hero Part 2. I need to encroach on the territory of Skeleton Knight, but let's be honest, there's not gonna be many more interesting theories in Skeleton Knight, so I don't feel bad about it. Right, what was I saying? No world actually defeated all waves ever. You need heroes of both worlds to fight later waves. Yeah, what if that's the case? Where whenever the waves were appearing, legitimately one of the worlds always ended up destroyed. Because simply the heroes that were in that world were capped, like they couldn't possibly have grown any stronger, and the wave just destroyed that world. What if that's what always happens? And then when one of the worlds gets destroyed, the other one gets spared. Right? But what if there's a limit to how many waves there are? But from a certain point, you need heroes of both worlds to unite and fight the waves. What if maybe there is a final wave where your only hope at defeating it is when the heroes of both worlds join power, and together they fight that wave. And after that, the world is spared, perhaps even permanently. I think that might be the case. Like, there isn't all that much pointing towards it, but it's a very interesting concept, and I kind of hope it's the case. But maybe not. Maybe the author is gonna come up with something even better. I don't know. I kind of have full trust in the author to do good by me. That's some great writing, great storytelling, great world building from it. So whatever the author decides to do, it's probably gonna be fine. Is there anything else that needs mention? Nobody gave any attention to the fact that Raphtalia, someone from a different world, got a vassal hero of this world. It's an event that you'd think someone would talk about, but apparently not. Maybe it was cut, maybe it was there in the source material, I don't know, but kind of odd that nobody even acknowledged Raphtalia being a hero. Nothing like, oh wow, Raphtalia, you're a hero now. No, just, hey, she's now a katana hero, here's her weapon, give her a sheath. That's like the extent that someone acknowledged the fact that she's a hero. Kind of weird, but again, probably that was cut from the anime and was there in the original, in the source material. Anything else that bears mention? I don't think so. I'm wondering what's gonna happen in the next episode, because Naofumi got separated from the rest. Is Naofumi just not going to fight Kyo? The bunny boy was offering himself to take everybody there to Kyo's hideout. Naofumi doesn't know where it is, and he doesn't have the means of transportation. Right? He can't even ride Philo because Philo is just a songbird. So is he just going to stay in the city and protect it from the waves, all the while the rest of them fight Kyo? That's possible. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. Interesting. I'm really interested in where it goes further. But yeah, right now that's gonna be it. So you guys, you tell me, what did you think of this episode? Did you like it as much as I did? What did you think of my reaction, of my theories? Just, as long as you keep it spoiler free, everything is fair game. If there's something that was there in the source material but wasn't mentioned in the anime, something that was cut, something that was changed, as long as it's not a spoiler, I'm leaving it at your discretion whether to comment about it or not. But I always like to hear clarifications for stuff that was changed compared to the source material, like a different translation or different order of events or stuff like that. If you do want to talk spoilers, you can do that on Shield Hero channel on my Discord server. That's open to everybody. There's a link here. There's a link in the description. Click it, join it. It's fun. It's fun hanging out, so hang out with us. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases, not only of Shield Hero, but also Skeleton Knight in Another World, Showcase Shoujo Virgin Road, Symphogear G, then soon it's gonna be GX, I believe. Review Starlight and the OVAs and the movies, all that I'm gonna cover, and also Spy X Family, that's another thing I cover, and also I sometimes live stream. The earliest live stream is gonna be on Sunday, and I'm gonna be streaming the Symphogear concert, and we're gonna hang out in Discord and talk about it, so that's gonna be fun. And then soon enough I'm gonna be also streaming the anime of the next season, and which of them I'm gonna wanna watch, which of them I'm gonna wanna give a skip. We're gonna figure all that out on that live stream. What's next? You can support the channel in multiple ways, plethora of them actually. If you don't want to spend a dime, that's perfectly fine. You can just share the word, spread the word, share my videos, share my channel. If you know someone who would enjoy my content, do recommend me to them, because the word of mouth really matters a lot for spreading the channel all across YouTube. And if you do have a spare dime, you can consider Patreon. Link is in the description. And I also have Throne now, so I added some stuff to my Throne wishlist. It's gonna be in the description down below. I don't know, take a look, pitch in or not, whatever, it's your money. I'm not gonna tell you how to spend it. Anything else that needs mention? Like, comment, subscribe, join Discord, support me on Patreon, share. I think that's it. So that's gonna be it from me for today. And as always, you guys all the good stuff. And I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! Oh right, I forgot. For $10 you get early access to non-seasonal shows on my Patreon, like Symphogear and Review Starlight. And for just even $1 you get to be in the credits.